Okay, so next up we have our ForgeBox module of the week, and this time we're going to talk about one by Eric Peterson, CBSecurity Passkeys. So are you using Passkeys much, Kai?
No, I avoid them like the plague, to be
Oh,
honest.
you do. So
Yep.
I thought they were meant to be the savior. So what is your reason for avoiding them?
I find the way how they are pushed on people and how they are tied to devices like browsers and like mobile phones not really helpful. I think like quite honestly, I think like passwords are not as bad. People always say like passwords are like, oh, they're complicated to memorize. Use a password manager. Use like a long cryptic password from your password manager.
Yep.
And if you want to have an additional layer of security, use like a hardware token. Like get a YubiKey basically. But passkeys are for a bunch of reasons like not. I don't see them as the savior of IT security, to be honest. They are complicated, clunky. People don't really understand. I get like, for example, every time I try to log in or log into my Air New Zealand frequent flyer account, they try to push a passkey on me, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying. You wouldn't believe it. So I'm not a fan. No.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the module is bad, right? The module is probably fine if Eric has done that. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. It's definitely a good thing. I mean, basically for site owners, it's really meant to help common attack vector, reduce them, to allow you to really be a little bit more secure. People with passwords are bad, then we end up doing password resets, and the two-factor stuff people doing SMS can be cloned, and so passkeys in general.
Can I say something on that specifically? SMS being cloned or SIM cards being cloned, that is to 99% a US problem.
Fair enough.
Because like all these SIM card hacks seem to come from the US. I've never seen, and I don't want to say they don't exist, but like in the vast majority of countries, these SIM card hacks are not possible.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure what exactly the difference is, but they all stem in US mobile providers, and there must be something systemic that is kind of weird how this access to SIM cards or like providing a new SIM card or moving a mobile number is handled in the US, I think, compared to other places of the world.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's meant to be a really easy way to get, for people to do it. I haven't actually looked too much about how to do it or whatever, but that does make sense that it's, probably it could be very much the United States, especially if there is you know, a way to do it. But I mean, they're moving to eSIMs now, Denny says, but I don't know if that makes it any easier or not, because then it's like, okay, I want to move it to this new eSIM instead of that
Yeah, you
eSIM.
move a token to a different device essentially to some extent, right? So that
Yeah.
doesn't make it easier necessarily. I think like the core issue is you shouldn't make it too easy, or you can't make it too easy for people to just transfer a number to a new SIM. If you can do that over the phone, basically, any man and their dog can do that for you. Require people to go into a store, show like a passport or like an official ID at least, or something like that, right? Like make it hard to do these kind of things. And
Yeah.
then that problem goes away to some extent. The other thing is, I mean, SMS technology in general is not safe, right? Like so many people or so many site owners provide two-factor authentication via SMS. I would probably, again, like there are ways to do this, like Google Authenticator, Authy, like use a token generator or something like that. And I understand that for non-IT people, that's weird. If I had to give my mother like Google Authenticator, she would get like, what do I do with this? Why do I need to have that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I understand the problem, but I don't think passkeys are the solution. And SMS are probably not the ideal solution either, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Not for sure. I mean, I think it's really interesting. And then Roddy B said Vertasium's video about SIM card hijacking is kind of scary. And yeah, if you look at some of those, you won't want to use them anymore. But I mean, just getting people to use a password manager is hard enough these days than any other things. And I know a lot of things about passkeys are meant to be better, but you're right though, they do pop up and annoy you. And then, but yeah, it's one of those things. It's nice to have. I mean, it's basically like an app on your phone. Once you've logged into the app, you're good for so long. The same type of thing applies with the passkey. It's just gives you a little bit more long-lived passwords in a secure fashion. But again, I'm sure that people can probably, do the same thing, duplicate or simulate your device and your keys, and who knows. But anyways, the passkeys added for CBSecurity by Eric it's a really cool module if you want to actually start offering them. So if that's something you want to offer, he actually did the session at Into the Box 2024. So we actually have a session link here as well. So if you do want to find out more about it and you've got a paid subscription to CFcast, you can see that video. And if you need to, let me know. I might even be able to get that one switched over to free if people want to see that one who don't have a paid subscription, because I think that's something worth looking at. But again, I'm gonna have to do some more looking into the passkeys and everything. But I know that that's sort of the big craze right now. Everyone's saying it's gonna improve things a lot. So we'll see. I'm curious too. But the thing is, like you say, if you've got a passkey on one device and then you're using another device, does it still allow you to do your password? Do you have to go use, I'm still curious, like, how does it affect the devices that you don't have passkeys set up on yet? Because if you have one.
There are other, like practical problems. If you use multiple browsers, passkeys are not really helping you super amazingly. Then what if you, have only one device and you lose your passkey and you don't have access to that device anymore? And there's so many like clunkiness issues around them. But I don't want to, continue the rant about passkeys. I just don't like them. I don't think they are.
Yeah, I think using them as one of the solutions is a good option, But yeah, because it's basically like you basically make your device into like a YubiKey type thing. Essentially, that's kind of what you're doing with Yeah, because that's the one thing I always worry about YubiKeys. Like, I will put it on my disk and I will not be able to find it, or I'll put it in my bag and I'll forget which bag it's in.
I've got them. I've got one on my keyring, for example. That's the other thing with YubiKeys, right? Like depending on what you use them for and how you use them, you need multiple ones. Yeah. Because like if they are the only thing that allows you to log into your computer and to your hardware physically, you really don't want to have a single one with that with that authentication. And like I'm not sure how it works on Windows, but on Mac and Linux, you can actually do that quite nicely, right? So you can't even log into your computer if you don't have your YubiKey dongle put in. So, but I need to make sure, obviously, if you do that you have 2 or 3 of them, ideally in different locations. That if your house catches fire or whatever, like, you at least don't lose access to your data and that kind of stuff. So while I think they are a better solution, they have their own complications, obviously. Yeah.
And like everyone's saying in the chat, there's always pros and cons for everything, and context matters.
That is true.
But yeah. So anyway, so that's the much debated module of the week. CBSecurity Passkeys. If you want to add passkeys to your CBSecurity applications, you can accept them with that.
Let me say again, Eric, I love your work. It's an awesome module, probably. I still have the issues with the passkeys.
It's okay. Just like some people don't like JWTs and other stuff as well. It's always pros and cons for everything. But yeah, I think you're right though. It's more the UI in your face, like jamming it down our throats, is bugged me more about them than anything else. Because when that first started, and that's all I saw, I didn't want anything to do with them for a while. So.
You know what? I have another pet peeve around that. Sorry, it's a total tangent, but like, why not?
Yeah, sure.
So instead of SMS authentic or 2FA, when people send you SMS to your mobile phone number, another thing that I've seen happening is people somehow figure out if you have WhatsApp attached to your phone number, and all of a sudden they send you a WhatsApp message. And I had that recently with, I think it was Air India on my India trip, right? So all of a sudden I got WhatsApp messages from them telling me like, oh, web check-in is open, or, that's the stuff you can't take on the plane for security reasons, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, huh? How is that a thing? And like, how did they even figure that out? So WhatsApp must have some API where you can actually look up phone numbers. And I'm not sure if there's a special rule for businesses or for site owners or something like that to use that to send you information.
Yeah, I wonder if they used it to send it to you originally for the code, and then from there they could verify if you're in WhatsApp too.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works. I wanted to have a look into that, but I've seen it also, apart from Air India, being used for 2FA codes these days. So
Mm.
there was another company, New Zealand company, I'm not saying which one, that all of a sudden, instead of sending me an SMS, was sending me a WhatsApp message for like a 2FA code, like a one-time password kind of thing, essentially. And I'm like, huh? How? I never consented to that, or I never allowed you to do that. I mean,
Yeah. And that's
this
what
is
makes me
just
wonder if
not
they're
right.
using that service to send the SMS messages, if it basically bridges it at that point, and then it just
Yeah.
goes straight to that instead. Because that would annoy me too. Because I hate WhatsApp. Like, I get so many messages all the time from random people adding me to groups and stuff, and I'm like,
And
I've tried to change my settings so I can't do it, but it just blows up, and so I just have to like log out forever until I need
yeah.
it again, because it drives me crazy.
And I guess as a parent, you're probably in about gazillion WhatsApp groups for school, parent pickups and sports pickup and that kind of stuff, right?
That's the funny thing, is we don't use it very much here in America. It's not as
Ah, okay.
popular. Like, we have all these other apps. We have like Band and Parent Square for teacher stuff, and
Mm,
Class Dojo for teacher stuff. So I've got a bunch of all these different apps. But I know in a lot of other countries they use WhatsApp for everything, and they've really
yeah.
marketed it well. But yeah, so I usually use it when I'm going to conferences to talk to people that are coming in from overseas and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
but yeah, it would be interesting if it was in one place, but then I'd be even more annoyed at all the crap I get to. So, anyways, okay, next up. That was our ForgeBox module of the week, brought to you by Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition, proudly sponsored by Ortus Solutions. You can see the new episodes every week on cfmlnews.modernizeordie.io or on the Ortus Solutions YouTube channel.